Tim's team. I've invited Rizwan Shuja. He's the author and an entrepreneur. Um, so we'll give him some time to discuss Cycle of Fulfillment, his most recent book that he's written. And then after that, we'll discuss the COVID situation and all that's going on, and then some company updates and some other topics that we would like to discuss as a team. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to Rizwan. I'll give you a quick intro. So you know, Rizwan is one of the most interesting people that I have met. He is an incredibly successful entrepreneur in the Austin area. The funny thing that I typically tell people is that if you've ever eaten at an Indian or a Pakistani restaurant in Austin, most likely you were contributing to Rizwan. So, if you can recall anything that you've eaten at an Indian restaurant in Austin, most likely he had something to do with it. So, Rizwan, without any further ado, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Um, Hello, all. Thank you, Amir, for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Rizwan Shuja, and I'm an entrepreneur and an author. Uh, we have written two books which are published along with my brother, Dr. Imran, and we are writing the third book right now. It's almost finished. Today, we are going to go over our one of the books, which is called The Cycle of Fulfillment: Five Simple Goals to Achieve Real Success. Next slide, please. So, why we wrote this book? I have read over 100 books. We have attended seminars, workshops in the science of success and personal development. Initially, the goal was that I improve my business skills so we can make more money. But while we were going through this process, a lot of authors or inspirational speakers said happiness is more important. Some said peace is more important. Some said fitness is more important. Health is more important. Relationship with people is more important. Some said relationship with God is more important. Some said money is more important. Some said your education, knowledge, your skills, context, networking is more important. So that kept me thinking what success really is. And if all of it is success, then which one comes first and which one comes later, and how they are interrelated to each other. So also, we were taking these courses and reading books and seminars and workshops randomly. It was just like putting a kid in the third grade, then first grade, then seventh grade. So it was not like a curriculum. So I wanted to put it in a way that we would exactly know how to start about it, how to go about it, and how to proceed and visualize and be able to follow what success is. To us, success is achieving 5 goals. Next slide. Number one is mental emotional fulfillment. Number two is physical health and fitness. Number three is relationship with people and God, which is essentially the same thing. Number four is your career, job, or business. Number fifth is financial wealth and material things. So now why we put mental emotional fulfillment on the top place? Mental emotional fulfillment means not to experience negative emotions like hate, jealousy, anger, resentment, worry, fear, greed, ego, and be able to cultivate positive emotions like love, compassion, gratitude, kindness, empathy, and the need of giving. So if we really look at it, whatever we have done in life, starting from going to school, university, getting a job, getting married, buying new houses, cars, the real goal behind all those goals was to change the emotional content of our life or change the way we feel, or we can say try to feel good emotions and prevent us from painful emotions like failure, humiliation, insecurities, etc. So that is our number one goal, even if we don't know that. If I want to buy a BMW, the goal behind is to change the emotional content to feel good. So if that is our goal, why don't we make that goal our direct route instead of going through material things and other things like alcohol or drugs? So if we are able to achieve our first goal, then it has been clinically and medically proven that it will directly help us with our health. As you know, that stress, worry, fears, all those things affect your physical health and fitness. And if we have this, all these positive emotions, and we don't have this negative emotions, and we have this need of giving, and we have good morals and values, then our third goal, which is a relationship with people, is an automatic fix, and a relationship with God is also automatic fix. So if we have good context, good networking, we have good morals and values where people can trust us, then uh, we will definitely be successful in our career, job, or business. So also relationship with God gives you faith. Faith, not just faith in God, but also faith that I'll be able to achieve my goals. Whatever I'm trying to achieve, I'll be able to achieve it. And also, if we are in a good mental state, then our focus and productivity goes through the roof. Like, for example, if we had a big fight with someone and you have to read a book, you won't be able to absorb it. So your productivity goes down. So if you are in a good mental emotional state, you have good health, you have good context, good networking, and good morals and values, and your focus and productivity is high, then you are definitely going to thrive and prosper in your career, job, or business. And if you are thriving in your business or job, then money comes with it, which is the number fourth goal. So every time we achieve a goal, it's going to further enhance the next goal. And the first two combined together will enhance the third, then fourth and fifth. So it is a cycle. When the cycle is completed, it's going to go back uh, and give us further mental emotional fulfillment, and further it will enhance the rest of the goals again. So the cycle is completed, and then it keeps going on, and that's how we progress and grow in life. Thank you. The next slide. Okay. So the goal is to become a bigger and better person who has all the skills like knowledge, education, hard work, courage, persistency, patience, uh, good decision making, good judgment, who can get along with people. So if you become that person, then money comes with it. So after reading this, this is the summary of cycle of fulfillment in a few minutes. So let's say there are two women who are mother-in-law and daughter-in-law who fight with each other all the time or who hate each other. They can read this book and come back and say that, okay, we agree with you that if we fix our negative emotions, it's going to help us achieve all other goals. But how do we fix it? Just by you telling us, get rid of the negative emotion, it's not going to happen. How do we fix it? That's a very valid question. So we are writing another book, which is almost finished now, should go into editing and publishing pretty soon in a month. It's called Mental Emotional Fulfillment, a Spiritual Solution. And the subtitle of the book is How to Tame Your Negative Emotions. Uh, so next slide. It has tools, techniques, and methods on how to tame your negative emotions. And I'm going to go over them very quickly because of the limited time. So the number one is called conscious awareness and proximity. So if we are aware that our negative emotions are hurting us, and we have the desire to fix it and try to cultivate positive emotions, then that's called conscious awareness. If we are even aware of that, and we have the desire, then our negative emotions will be tamed to at least 5 to 10%. And proximity means to be around the positive people. If we are around the negative people who fight with each other and want bad for each other, then it will affect us definitely. And understanding the mechanics, so the second tool is understanding the mechanics and repetition. Understanding the mechanics means to be able to understand how these negative emotions are hurting us, hurting our career, job, finances, relationships. Uh, so the example of that I can give, that if we go to any temple or mosque, the priest or pastor, or they would say, it is good to be honest and not lie. And let's say if I have a used car dealership, I would think that whenever I lie, I make $300, $400 more. So how is it good for me? But at the same time, I see a lot of small business owners who have been small business owners for generations. They always say that I'm not going to lie or cheat because it's going to ruin my name in the market and nobody's going to do business with me. So they understand the mechanics because they have been taught that, and they are in a situation where they have a lot of partners. And if they screw up, they will lose their credibility and lose a lot of business and growth. So they understand the mechanics and they are being honest for their long-term financial gain only at the conscious level. But if they keep doing it, then it's going to go into their subconscious mind and it's going to become their personality. So now they don't care if they're losing money or making money, then they're not going to lie, cheat, or be dishonest. So understanding the mechanics and repetition. The third thing is that the third tool to tame your negative emotion is control your thoughts and change the meanings of the things. So whenever we get a negative emotion, first we need to identify what it is and why am I getting it? Could it mean something else? If we can change the meaning, then change the meaning. And if we cannot change the meaning, then we have to change our procedure, how to deal with it. The fourth tool is tame your ego. Our ego wants us to be in turmoil, and our the higher self is the opposite of ego, which takes you closer to God. So our ego wants us to be in turmoil, and our higher self wants us to be at peace. So there's a fight between ego and higher self, and which one you are going to let take over. So the tools and techniques we have to tame your ego, the first one is do not look for the reasons to be offended. There are reasons, millions of reasons out there to be offended. Just do not look for them. That somebody did that, somebody didn't do that, somebody said that, somebody didn't say that. We look at the news, all those things. So do not look for the reasons to be offended. Second is practice tolerance versus dominance. Do not try to control people. Be tolerant, be flexible. And the third is give up the need of approval. This is very important, and a lot of people cannot identify it. The need of approval means the need to look at me, notice me, and the need of showing off. Like my car is bigger than your car, my house is bigger than your house. I have a better job than you, I'm better looking than you. And then in the middle of that, a man gets up and says that I'm not into this worldly crap. I'm a man of God. And now this is his way to get approval, to show that he has a better connection with God than you have. He's more spiritual than you. So there's no difference between him and the others if he is trying to show that off. So give up your need to be always right. Whenever you get into an argument, now it hits your ego. Now it's not about the argument, it's about proving other people wrong and proving yourself wrong. So that takes you away from building up a good relationship. And forgive people. This is the most important. Dr. Wayne Dyer, he was a spiritual scholar, he says that a person does not die from a snake bite, but it dies from the venom left inside. Let's say if there was no venom in the snake, it's just going to be a scratch and probably be fixed in a few hours. But the person dies from the venom of hate, jealousy, anger, resentment, vengeance, worry, fear. So forgiving people will free you from that. And how do you do that? The best way to forgive people or not judge people is think of it in a way that people do their best according to their mental emotional state, their biochemical state, their education, their experiences, their exposure, and the environment and the meaning they gave to all those experiences. So if we had been exactly at the same place, same education, same house we were born in, same parents, same teacher, same financial state, same worries we have gone through, we might be doing doing exactly the same thing they are doing. So that's the best way to tame your ego and free yourself from negative emotions. And actually, you are doing a favor to yourself by forgiving people and not keeping a grudge and tolerating them and not judging them. So the last one is practice basic humility. That means that whatever you achieve, whatever you have, be humble and be respectful to other people. Do not look down on them. So these were the tools to tame your ego. The next one is practice mindfulness and gratitude. Mindfulness means to stay in the present. So if we live in the past, the human brain is programmed in a way that it would have more remorse and regrets about the past. And if you live in the future we don't know what's going to happen. Even if we try hard, work hard, we're still not certain. So if we most of the times live in the future, then we will have worry, fear, and stress. So stay in the present. And gratitude means be grateful for whatever we have. Like a lot of people say that I have nothing to be grateful for, but we are still alive, we are still above the ground. This is something to be grateful, something to be grateful for. And also all the food on our table, all our life, we didn't have to cook. The road that we didn't have to build, the internet we didn't have to create, and the people we have love, connection, and bonding with, all those people, the jobs we have had. So be grateful for what we have. Now there is meditation. Number 6 is meditation and visualization. Meditation, we all know, how do we, I have a video on my YouTube channel about meditation. I don't think we have time to go over it, but everybody has a general perception of what meditation is, trying to get spiritually connected to God. And with it comes visualization. Visualization is also a very important tool. What it is that you visualize and imagine that you have achieved your goal. So if you can do it so strongly that you start to get the emotions of success, then it will start looking real to you. And most of the time, we don't even try many things because it doesn't look real to us. So our self-belief and confidence goes higher and it changes our standard. So we are a lot more likely to do it. The 7th is neuroassociative conditioning. Neuroassociative conditioning is another tool to change our pain pleasure associations. For example, if somebody wants to lose weight and we tell them to bake chicken breast, broccoli, and brown rice and eat it, and he wants to eat triple cheeseburger, pizza, ice cream, coke, cookies, then it becomes difficult because his association to the junk food is pleasure and healthy food is pain. So, but being fat is painful for him, so he will start eating the painful food. But how long can he do it? 1 week, 2 weeks? So he will give up. So 97% people who go on a diet end up breaking it in 2 weeks. So if we change his association, if we reverse his association to junk food as pain and healthy food as pleasure, then it becomes easy. And there, the book talks about how to do that. And the eighth is raise your consciousness level. Raise your consciousness level means to raise or improve your awareness, your values, morals. And when we do that, then things start to fall in its right place. You know, the help of God comes and it starts, helping you. For example, your reticular activating system turns on. Reticular activating system means, uh, for example, if you buy a car, which you thought that very few people drive, after you have bought it, you start seeing it everywhere. The example of it I give is in 2006, one of my friends from New York called me and asked me what kind of business he should do. And I told him about check cashing business since I had recently started it. I explained him in 15 minutes, 20 minutes how it is done and what it is. And his response was that nobody does that in New York. And 2 days later, he told me that this 1% check cashing sign is following him everywhere he goes. So he started seeing the signs. The signs were already there, just he couldn't see them. So the signs and opportunities are out there to be happy, to to be fulfilled, to be fit and healthy, and enjoy the love, connection, bonding with people and God, and prosper and thrive in your career and have abundance of money. But some can see it, some cannot see it. So the more conscious awareness you have, the more you have tamed your negative emotions, the more success you're going to get. It's going to become a lot easier for you to achieve the success. So this is on the first goal, which is mental emotional fulfillment, a spiritual solution. Now we can go over a little bit over on our fourth goal, which is career, job, or business.
So, by the way, it was one wonderful conversation here, and great ideas. We have limited time. I would like to spend at least keep about 5 minutes for Q
Sure.
and A. So, if you can, summarize excellence in your career, obviously is a very important goal for us. If you can summarize this, and then let's have a Q and A session as well.
Yes, yes. So happiness is directly proportional to growth and progress. We cannot be happy unless we are growing and progressing. Besides, I haven't met anyone who's fulfilled and has not achieved anything. Most of the time, people want to be successful in their career, job, or business to be able to acquire material things and for their need of importance and significance. Instead, our goal should be to become a person who has the qualities of the education, knowledge, skills, hard work, persistence, patience, courage to be able to make good decisions and selection. Then money comes with it. So, like Jim Rohn says, work on yourself harder than your job. Successful people are not lucky, they are doing something. To attract success, you have to become an attractive person. He says reaping is reserved for planters and receiving is reserved for deservers. So we need to start working on ourselves harder to start the process of receiving. He also says that you do not deserve a dime more than what you have in your pocket. So to achieve the excellence in your career, we have to have the following points. I'm just going to name them. I'm not going to go over them since we have limited time and I've already taken much time. So burning desire. Number one is burning desire to become a bigger and better person. Number two, no complaints and blames. You have to accept wherever you are in life, in career and finances, it is because of your own decisions and your judgments. You cannot complain your boss, your country, your parents, your wife. You have to take the responsibility. The third is clarity and good ideas. Number four is focus and productivity. Number five is goal settings. Number six is develop the expertise and learn the trade. Number seven is proximity. Number eight is faith. and courage. Faith and courage go together. Faith that I'll be able to achieve all my goals with the help of God. And whatever hurdles and obstacles come my way, I refuse to accept them. And then 9, build a strong character with good morals, values, ethics, where you want good for other people also. And it will take you long ways. And last, which is self-belief and self-image. So if you start working on those first 9, then your self-belief and self-image will improve and your chances of becoming successful is a lot higher.
This
So
is this is very interesting, Rizwan, because the way that we look at excellence in our career is a little bit different than these 10 bullet points that you have here. So it's interesting. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. And so a lot of people say that you have to be at the right place at the right time to be successful, right? I say it is not important at all to be at the right place at the right time. It is important to be the right person, because if you are not the right person, you're not going to take action at the right place at the right time. So start working on yourself to become the right person so you can start the process of receiving and deserving. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rizwan. So let's do some Q&A.
Sure.
A couple of things that I had on my mind. One is just for context, how many businesses do you have or are you actively participating in?
I own 17 gas stations, and I'm a part owner in a few restaurants. And I have residential and commercial properties that I own, and I'm going into construction now. I've acquired raw land, and I've already submitted a few plans in the city to build a gas station and a small residential duplexes. So that's what I do mostly. Yeah.
Very, very nice. That's amazing. How does emotional fulfillment that you've talked about connect to financial success?
Basically, like all these authors and inspirational speakers like Dale Carnegie, he says, when you give, it comes back, right? Giving is a state of mind. So giving is not just giving of money. Giving is, giving respect to someone, giving love to someone, making someone feel important is also giving. Even if you cannot give anything, just wanting good for somebody is also giving, right? So, for example, I have a degree in electrical engineering, and I've worked in Hitachi for 2 years. It's a Japanese company. So, if we look at the culture and character of Japanese people and companies, an engineer over there does not see what he's getting, because his loyalty and sincerity and honesty towards his company, towards his product, towards his boss, his company, his country is so high that he doesn't care what he's getting. He just sees what he's giving. An average person like us, he looks at the whole situation, that why didn't I get a raise? Why didn't I get a promotion? Why did the other person get the raise or promotion? So who do you think is going to receive more? The one who's giving. You cannot receive without giving. So you have to give. Same thing with the relationships with your wife, your brothers, your co-workers, your neighbors, your kids. When you give without thinking that what he's going to give you back, then it's a business deal. It can work too, but you will never be able to reach that bonding, connection, and love when you give without what is the word, without expectation that I give, so he must give back. When you don't expect that, then you really receive more. But what happens that in any relationship, even with a company or with people or and relatives, what we do, that we just start with the receiving end, that we stand on the receiving end, then the other person stand on the receiving end too, and then the selfishness and starts, and then people fight with each other and have ego issues. And it
That's
helped me because all these businesses, I have around 20 business partners, and uh, if they can trust you and they think that you're not going to hurt them, then people get along with you. Even people who are not that positive would act positive towards you if you have good vibes most of the time. And that will help you grow and progress by leaps and bounds.
Awesome. Anybody else have any questions, thoughts?
Hey, Rizwan. Hey, thank you for this. It's very enlightening. On this one we see here, excellence in your career, number 7, proximity. Do you mean more logistic proximity, especially in times of COVID right now? We don't have that availability, but do you mean more of being available? What do you mean about proximity?
No, proximity means to be around, in the proximity of the people who are positive, who have achieved in life, who have grown in life, who have the positive perspective, the people who you are inspired by. Be in the proximity of those people, and you are going to become like them. Because what happens if you are in the proximity of successful people, then success starts becoming normal to you, and whatever becomes normal to you, it just comes to you. Because I'll give you an example. If your standard changes, for example, there are many things that we wanted to do, we didn't do. Started a business, we didn't do. Buy a plot, we didn't buy. We go on a vacation, we didn't go. Because our limiting beliefs and fears were stopping us. So when you are in the proximity of successful people, it starts looking normal to you, and that becomes your standard. For another example, if somebody takes away your car and tells you to take a bus from tomorrow, then your mind will find a way to get a car because that is normal to you. But somebody who has been going in a bus for the last 10 years, his mind is not doing anything for getting a car, right? So your standards change, your normal changes. And also, of course, if they are good people, successful people, they will guide you. Just imagine that if you have 10 years experience at Dell, somebody walks out of university on his first day at Dell, how much can you guide him if you be his mentor? So just the same way, be in the proximity of successful people, good people, positive people who want good for others, and that will help you in your career and also in your mental emotional fulfillment, like which is we have already talked about, which is our first goal.
Okay, great, thank you. And your book's going to be out on Amazon pretty soon?
The Cycle of Fulfillment, the one that I showed, that and another book, I already have it available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And also I have a YouTube channel called Cycle of Fulfillment. It has 31 videos. If you guys subscribe it, whenever I upload a video, you'll get a notification. So please subscribe it. It's called Cycle of Fulfillment. And the next book, which is How to Tame Your Negative Emotions, should be published hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months.
Hey, great you read it. Completely perception has changed a lot. Thank you very much, Rizwan.
You're welcome, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think my kids are at the age. I think this is going to definitely help them a lot. So I probably will end up buying a book around this. So we were talking about it like a couple of days back as well, me and my kids, about mental health, positivity, and all. I think these have definitely have a lot of more details in there. Yeah. Thank you very much. And then the other question that I didn't really see how you're handling the failures and all. So is there anything specific around how you handle failures, how you bounce back, all those kind of things? Yes. Is there any specific topic around it as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So there's a lot of, if we try to develop all those qualities and methods, tools and techniques we talked about in mental emotional state, and if we have working on all these qualities we talked about in excellence in your career, then we talked about faith and courage, right? The faith and courage help you bounce back, because your goal is not to make money. Let's say if I started a restaurant and it failed, so the pain should be of the failure, because what did I do wrong? So the first thing is no complaints and blames, like we talked about number 2. So if there are no complaints and blames, then first thing I have to, like they say that you learn from the failure more than success. If you get successful in the first hit, then you get complacent and overconfident. But if you failed and you are at a good positive mental emotional state and you can analyze, you do not complain like my employees were not good. Actually, I was going to go over it, but because of shortage, I missed that part. Most of the people who could not succeed in business, if I have talked to those people, if I recall, most of them would say the reason I couldn't succeed was I didn't have any money. Second one said that I didn't know what to do. Third one said I couldn't find a good business. Fourth one said I found the business, but before I could buy, somebody else bought it. The fifth one said my employees were not good. Sixth one said that my manager was not good. The seventh one said my equipments were not good. So all these reasons for not succeeding is the lack of resources. But lack of resources is never the reason. It's always the lack of resourcefulness because somebody else found those resources and became successful. So if you do not complain or blame, and after a failure, if you realize that what did you do wrong, how could you have prevented it? So if you couldn't get good employees, how could have you found somebody who's doing better than you? How did he found? You can consult him, or if he's not willing to share, then you can at least observe it, how big corporations are working and how they are getting the good employees and how they are planning things. And you learn from the failure that what not to do next time. And if you have this courage and desire to become a better person, then it's not going to hurt you as much because money is not important at that point. The goal is to become a bigger and better person, and it is a process of evolving your personality, your business skills. So if you have improved all these qualities, then it will help you cope with this failure.
I remember the restaurant that you had on UT Drag that closed down.
Yes.
And I remembered also, kind of having a conversation with you where, you seemed okay with it.
Actually, since he brought it up, I opened up an Indian Chinese restaurant close to downtown, very close to the university. And it did not succeed, and we had to shut it down. And it was in 2013 or 14. And when it shut down, and everybody would ask me, why did it shut down? And I had not even started this journey. I started this journey in 2015, 16 of reading books and self-improvement. So I used to say my employees were not good. Okay, there was no parking. I didn't have time. I was too busy, things like that. So now if I look back and I look at it, that I did not have the resourcefulness to make it successful business until the first step is that I have to see that I could not create it. I could not manage it, So, and that is not to put myself down, but that I still have to evolve enough to be able to do it. And how do I learn those skills? Follow somebody who has done it better and faster than me. If I follow the successful people, then success comes to you faster. Like if we have time, then I can give another example, like a minute or two.
I think we're short in time. Let's do one more question.
Yeah.
So thanks, Rizwan. It was a great insight. Just one question. You've been successful in doing so many businesses. Have you ever thought that this is enough for me? Why do you really think that I have to do more and more? Now you're setting up more gas stations. You're getting into a different business venture. What actually pushes you, and what's the
So, Sarsh, your voice was breaking. Amar bhai, can you repeat the question, please, if you heard it?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me, Rizwan?
Yeah. Go ahead, Sarvan.
Yes.
Yeah. What I was asking is, you've been successful in doing so many businesses, but you're still setting up more and more business. Have you ever thought that, okay, this is enough for me, right? If not, what is your goal? Why do you actually have to establish more and more when you are so successful already?
Actually, like we talked about, growth and progress, happiness or fulfillment is directly proportional to growth and progress. And the more, actually, to be honest with you, I used to work more when I had one gas station. I used to work 7 days, 10 hours. I don't work that much now. So, and now I think with my contacts and with my experience, and it comes a lot easier to me. And I have employees, managers, my partners, and myself. We can work together, and it's less uh, of a challenge as it used to be in the beginning. But you're right, but growth is always, we should never put a limit on the growth as long as it's not taking you away from your family, your health, your leisure time, your friends. Growth, we should not put a limit on it. And some people say that money is, they portray that money is not, cannot bring happiness. But I can assure you that it can bring you fulfillment and happiness if you use it right. You know, if
Yeah.
we give money to an orphanage where small kids are dying, is it not going to bring you happiness? If you have the heart to give away, and by helping people, by guiding people, so you have to have an abundance in order to give and inspire. If I keep my goal, for example, if I'm an uneducated person, how can I help my daughter with college chemistry or math? And if I'm out of shape, how can I inspire somebody to have a six pack? Uh, and even if I can inspire him, I don't know how to do it. How can I tell them? And if I don't know how to grow in business, how can I inspire or guide people? And if I want to give $500,000 to an orphanage, and if I don't have it, how can I give? So we have to have in abundance a lot in order to give and inspire.
Got you.
Just the same way, tell you on the airplane, first put the oxygen mask on yourself, become stable, then you can help other people.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I think we've already kind of gone significantly over time. Great conversation, Rizwan. Really appreciate you coming to our staff meeting and sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Everybody, thanks a lot.